Am I the asshole for refusing to have a pink bedroom again? Hi guys. I am 15 female, my dad is 31 male, stepmom, Anna, is 29 female, stepsister, Zoe, is 8 female. We are in the UK. I was born when my parents were just 16, and my egg donor did a runner before I turned 1. I don't know her now. Dad, well, he did the best he could as a young single father, but we've lived in a small 2-bed flat and not had much money for as long as I can remember. So Dad and Anna married 2 years ago but stayed living in separate homes as Anna was a carer for her disabled mum. Pre-COVID, I was out of the house a lot and never really cared much about my room, which had childish pink walls with hearts on. During the first lockdown I became quite down and unhappy and eventually decided to overhaul my room completely to feel more like me and spent some of my savings on paint and new sheets and stuff. I put gray on 3 walls and did a geometric design in shades of blue on the 4th. It's a lot more grown up and I felt a lot more comfortable spending all my time in my new space. Sadly, Anna's mom passed away mid-January. At the end of February, Anna and Zoe moved into our tiny flat, and I had to share my room with Zoe. I didn't complain about it, about half my small space now being toys, about suddenly becoming a full-time big sister. We had to swap my bed for bunk beds, and because Zoe is afraid of heights I had to take the top bunk. I haven't even complained that I can no longer sit upright on my bed. We are going to move into a 3-bed at some point, but until then, this is the situation. I am not happy but accept it. But Zoe isn't happy and is too young, immature, she's 8, I get it, to accept it. Zoe cries for her old room back. Anna wants to paint my beautiful new room back to the pink I used my own money to cover up, and I'm refusing to let her. Dad says he will pay to paint my room the same in the new house when we move. I say they can paint Zoe's room in the new house too. Anna is saying I'm being childish and nagging at Dad to make me change my mind. But Dad is stuck between us and privately says he gets it, that I've had to put up with so much, but won't stand up to Anna on my behalf. I've offered compromises. They can paint if I can take the bottom bunk and put curtains around it so I'm not surrounded by fucking pink again. Or leave it as it is and put pink curtains around Zoe's bunk so she is surrounded by pink. Both ideas got shot down as me being stubborn for the sake of it. I think I've latched onto my walls as the last bit of control I have, and I don't think it's fair at all to force me to give every bit of my home up for Zoe. They didn't actually have to move in yet, and could have waited until we had the bigger house to merge our families. Basically, I think Anna is being an asshole for having zero consideration for the fact she and Zoe have invaded my life, home, and room, and that I've put up with it all except for this. All my friends are on my side, but I know they are biased. NTA, why would they paint a room anything if they are moving soon? That doesn't make sense, seems like a waste of time and money. Not the asshole, and you need to have a talk with your dad again. This woman has invaded your space and all she wants to do is take and take. What she's offering are in no way, shape or form compromises. What she wants to do is take your room and change it entirely. That's not compromising, 'cause I can't see where you still get what you want to. What you offered is 100% a compromise. And what's wrong with placing a tapestry on the wall on Zoe's half of the bunk bed so it covers the gray, geometric design? And what's wrong with pretty pink curtains around Zoe's bed? That sounds like a princess bed to me. And what about hanging up fairy lights for her so it really does feel like her own space? Not the asshole, hold your ground. Not the asshole. Next time you have a discussion about this, calmly ask Anna this. Without using the excuse, because she's younger or because I'm older, please explain why we should waste time, money and effort to paint the room pink for your daughter when we are planning on getting a bigger place soon anyway. How is it fair for Zoe to get what she wants but my feelings don't matter? This is really the crux of the issue. Anna doesn't count your feelings because you are not her daughter. To her, Zoe and her needs and wants will always come first before you and yours. The fact that she is not willing to compromise only highlights this. Be prepared to come home one day and find she has painted the walls anyway. She sounds like the type to do that. I'm bothered that you cannot sit up properly in bed. You could hurt your head. Not the asshole. You just redecorated and then had to give up space and privacy. Can't she just wait until you all move? Teach the kid patience. Honestly, as the parents they should give up their bedroom and move to the living room. As parents they only sleep in their bedroom. but kids need privacy and spend a significant amount of time in their bedrooms. You also have a large age gap and have very different needs. You might need to do homework while she is being loud. You both simply need privacy. Turn their argument on them. They won't be in the living room for long, since moving should be a priority. Agree on a set time when the living room is off limits and becomes their bedroom for the night, so they have some privacy as well. As the parents, they should make the sacrifice. You were kind and tried to compromise, but it seems they just want to bulldoze you. Not the asshole, of course. Not the asshole. I have to say I'd be so impressed with your compromise ideas and your acceptance of everything if I were Anna. Tell your father you have done your part. Now it's time to do his and point out to Anna, in your defense, how you have accepted her daughter into your room without complaint when you could have been a total pain in the ass about it. So instead of pushing you into resenting her and her daughter, she should accept one of your compromise solutions because it's she who is being stubborn, not you. Not the asshole. Both of you have gone through a rough transition, and I understand why Zoe is upset, but I think you came up with a great solution with the curtains. However, I definitely think that your dad and stepmom should be making moving into a larger space a priority. You and Zoe are very different, developmentally, and each need your own space. Not the asshole. I think the pink curtains around Zoe's bed are a great compromise. It seems like you are making efforts to accommodate Zoe, but Anna wants her to be prioritized. Your dad definitely needs to step up and defend you to Anna. He's putting his fear of rocking the boat with Anna above your needs. Not the asshole. You're proposing compromises that are being rejected with no counter. This is turning into little more than a power play. If you think that changing the room color won't help Zoe's missing her old home, you might ask her what's wrong. If she can articulate that, it might help shift the argument in your favor. Not the asshole, and a very poor way to start blending a family, expecting one child to make all the sacrifices. Info. When are you moving into the new house? I think you're not an A, but I'd like to know to verify if the adults are. Not the asshole. Tell your dad you have already been forced to sacrifice your space, your privacy, and your comfort. Remind him that you literally cannot even sit up on your bed. If you are forced to paint the walls, then he is showing that he cares more about making Anna and Zoe happy than allowing you. Ask your dad why you have to make all the sacrifices. They aren't trying to compromise, just steamroll over you. Not the asshole. Nah, this is a really hard situation for everyone. But the younger child who has lost her grandmother and her home is probably having a harder time with this than you are. I know it sucks, but overall, this is what your family situation is now. Not the asshole. First of all, my condolences for the death of Anna's mum. You, however, are far from the asshole because you spent your own money to renovate the bedroom, which is pretty much your home, if you will, and is the room that is meant to represent you. Now Dad comes in and tries to change it back. It's like he's throwing away the money you rightfully earned and spent on. This was your room to begin with. I mean, you've already given more than is fair, as you have problems sitting upright in bed and don't complain. But there has to be a line to draw, and you drew it perfectly. PS cool username. It fits the post lol. Not the asshole. The fact that this is a big change and everyone's having to make a lot of adjustments is exactly why you should be allowed to have this one thing that you don't have to compromise on. You've made a lot of concessions towards making Anna and Zoe feel comfortable, and they should be willing to acknowledge that and make some concessions of their own. ETA. Your dad should absolutely be backing you up on this. He should be advocating on your behalf just as strongly as Anna is advocating for Zoe. Not the asshole. If you're going to be moving into a bigger home soon anyway, by soon, I mean 2 years or less, then repainting the room is a waste of time and money. Anna should be teaching her kid to be patient and wait, because when she has a room by herself again, she can paint it whatever color she wants. In the meantime, you were there first. Zoe is allowed to have her toys, her own bedding and the lower bed, plus some decorations. That's enough. It's not going to kill the kid to not have pink walls for a while, and by the time you're in your new house she might not even like pink anymore. Not the asshole. You are offering compromises, but they just want everything their way with no consideration of your feelings at all. Maybe as a final chance of compromise you could agree to one wall being painted pink and decorated for Zoe. You really have been so patient and accommodating so far. Sounds like stepmom only cares about her own child and not Op. Not the asshole. Anna is. If she wants to make this work, she's going to have to respect you. Right low, she's not showing she can. Keep your foot down, otherwise she'll learn she can just wear you down. Not the asshole. Parents who moved blended families into homes much too small to them and yet somehow keep a bedroom to themselves as opposed to having a fold-out in the living room are always, without doubt, assholes. Children's needs, including space, privacy and a healthy amount of slowly are needed to properly integrate. Are there any adults in your life apart from your dad you could ask for backup? Any aunts, uncles, grandparents, etc. I'm unbiased, and also a random internet stranger, and this is a case where I'm on your side as well. Anna is trying to play favorites, and will probably wonder why you re so distant, and will complain you re not being one family, when she starts to be driving a wedge between you and the rest from day one here. Problem is your dad thinks Anna is a quality woman, and with his confession he drop you in favor of her. I think you be losing this battle. I have no words of wisdom. Others most likely will have some tips, but you are not in the wrong here, but being right and it being acted on are two different things. Please realize that the kid is just being a kid and it this Anna that being the pain in the backside here. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Could you guys just go to Home Depot and find a color you and Zoe like? Not the asshole. You're being really mature about this, especially since you understand why Zoe feels that way. I don't think Anna appreciates just how relaxed you've been about the entire situation. Would you be willing to compromise if Zoe had some pink accessories? Like maybe duvet covers, blankets, cushions, maybe even a rug. Another solution might be to see if she'd like some posters on the walls near her bed. There's even some cute wall stickers you can get. I get that it does involve you having to compromise yet again when you've already been so awesome about having to share your room, but they would just be little things that might make things easier for both you and Zoe. Not the asshole. Sounds like your families are gonna butt heads a fair few times in the coming years. It's all part of two families merging. It's good you're standing your ground now. Set some boundaries for the future. I think you're right. Anna is being unreasonable. I think she's thinking only of her daughter, who may be having a hard time, but that doesn't mean you aren't also. The pink curtains actually seems like a decent compromise until you all can move. You've already compromised a lot, so I don't think it's unreasonable to want to keep your paint. Is your dad and stepmom's room bigger than your room? Because I think the fair thing would be for the people that share a bed to have the smaller room. Hopefully the bigger room has enough space for twin beds and a divider in the middle. Not the asshole. You painted it yourself with your savings. And recently too. It's a sign of your own accomplishment and maturity. Not respecting what it means to you as the childish part. Especially considering all the other compromises, you would think not repainting the wall would be a small ask for them. I get your new stepsister is 8 and a kid, but this is a good time for her mom to teach her about compromises. She's a sibling now, after all. Not the asshole. You have offered compromise. Your dad agrees with you. Anna is being too difficult. Arguably she has lost her home and her mother. She's still dealing with a lot of grief. So it's understandable she is trying to exert some control over a lot. Zoe is also dealing with the same things too. It's a lot for an 8-year-old. However, Anna doesn't get to come in and force you to change your whole space to suit her child. Especially if you're moving soon. Keep holding your ground and offering compromise. All Anna is doing is driving a wedge between you, your dad and new sibling. Not the asshole just checked UK tenant rules. If either of them is collecting rent, help op needs her own bedroom by 16 under law, or they will get no help. 2 children aged 09 can share a bedroom whatever their sex. 2 children aged 0-15 can share a bedroom if they are the same sex. Children aged 16-19 are counted as needing their own bedroom. I think the pink curtains around the lower bunk is a darling idea. I recently put curtains on my 4-poster just so I don't have to stare at my work desk all the time. Mentally it's made a big difference. It might serve to give your new younger stepsister a cozy space that she feels is her own. Not the asshole. You have given up so much. If there is a way y'all could have small single beds again, they could give her pink furniture and you whatever color you decide. Then maybe Zoe can hang up like a small pink calendar or poster on one of the gray walls by her bed. That's another compromise that could work. I mean, they know you spent your own money on those walls. So it shouldn't be an issue. Not the asshole. It sounds like Zoe is really sad and they're taking the easy solution of going with her side, which isn't fair to you. You've offered up some reasonable compromises. It seems fair that since the room is now for both of you, that some should be pink and some should be blue, gray. They probably just assume that you'll be easier to convince than your stepsister. Hopefully it'll help you to know that you're the reasonable one here, but you still may not be able to convince them. Also, I'm going to assume that they moved in now because of financial reasons that they haven't shared with you, and if that's the case you're probably going to stay in the house for longer than they've indicated. So you'll probably be sharing a room for a while. Good luck with it, I hope things work out. Being stubborn for the sake of it, equals, she knows how to stick to boundaries and we don't like it. Please don't let the adults in your life weaken your resolve, you seem like a great kid. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's a shame your stepmother is being less mature than you are. Your compromises are all acceptable, and things I would happily see accepting as a parent of teens myself. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Zoe needs some sense of familiarity, but that shouldn't be at the expense of your comfort and security. The bottom bunk as a pink fort idea is great. I think that at the very least Anna should discuss this with Zoe. She's a young kid, but she's not that young. She's old enough to understand need for compromise. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Dad and stepmom are for expecting Op to go back to pink. My two youngest, 10 and 7, just merged rooms. They decided to go to white walls with neutral curtains so that they weren't stuck on a certain design. My youngest plastered her area with wall stickers of her favorite characters. My older one has cool LED lights in her area. I agree that you shouldn't have to paint. You just painted. And if anything, it should go to something that you both like. Maybe your stepsister could decorate her area with wall stickers and LED lights in her area of the bunks. Not the asshole. But Dad is stuck between us and privately says he gets it, that I've had to put up with so much, but won't stand up to Anna on my behalf. Found the problem. Not the asshole. Your life has changed massively, you have new responsibilities and roles to play, and you've had to sacrifice so much already. All you've asked is to keep your room colors, that you already changed from something you hated to something you like. And now Anna wants to take that from you and change it back to the color you're on record of not liking. Dad needs to stand up for you. What you're asking for is beyond reasonable, and it's really selfish to expect your daughter to give up what you worked so hard for. Not the asshole. Honestly, your post is a very cool examination of possible reasons for why you feel so firmly about this and expressed accommodations you have already made and possible compromises offered. Anna's attempts to run roughshod over you smacks of an attempt to wrench control, authority over the situation. Or possibly that your desires are less important as her stepchild, which may be the case technically, feelings are complicated, but is grossly inappropriate as the adult. Not the asshole. You have been a saint sharing your room with Zoe even to the point that you're being forced to have a bed you can't even bloody sit up in and haven't grumbled about it. And now your dad wants to undo all the hard work you have done making that room your own, and spending your own money to do so, because he can't grow a spine and put his foot down with his new partner. It seems like his priorities have now changed, which unfortunately means you're in for more of this down the line in your new home unless you start putting your foot down now. Zoe can suck up having gray walls until you all move into a bigger place. Not the asshole, and neither is Zoe, but your stepmom is. You worked hard for those walls, and though I understand Zoe being upset, her grandma just died and her life was uprooted, that doesn't mean that she should get to have your room repainted. Your stepmom is letting Zoe stay upset by continuing to bring it up. Her behavior is a signal to your stepsister that you are in the wrong. You have already made compromises so that this can work. Your stepmom needs to do the same. NTA. Op, I have a feeling your stepmom will try and force her daughter to be main priority. If your dad starts to cave to that, then it's just all sorts of messed up. Being shot down as stubborn while they stubbornly refuse to even consider your offers? Classy. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, especially since you paid for it. If she wants pink, maybe meet her halfway and buy her a pink bedspread or comforter to go on her bed as a gift. Besides, it sounds like it was Anna's idea to paint it pink, not Zoe's. I get it, I can't stand pink. If you can deal with being cramped in a room until you move, Zoe can deal with the colors on the walls. Honestly, it sounds like Anna is trying to establish her dominance. Not the asshole. I think the fact that they even asked shows they have no intention of moving. They are probably hoping you will move out for uni and that will be the end of the moving plans. Not the asshole, and your dad is a coward. Not the asshole in the slightest. I'm 20 and would flip my lid if I was in your position, so well done. Painting a wall pink is a lovely idea and a great compromise. Please post an update.